They came for my yacht at 3 a.m., forged papers, fake laws, lockpicks in hand, thinking I'd just roll over while they carved up everything I'd built. And the kicker? I wasn't even in their precious HOA, but that never stopped the hungry. Here's how I wrecked their little empire and sent a whole crowd of suburban pirates scrambling. The first night in my new place on Shoreline Drive, I stood out on my dock with a glass of bourbon, watching the sun drag orange fire across the Gulf, just soaking up the quiet that only comes after years in shipyards and cold calls, shaking hands with men who never blink. My house, my dock, my rules. No board meetings. No monthly newsletters. No HOA fine print nonsense. Just me and Corvus, my 60-foot yacht, stainless steel gleaming, mahogany deck shining like a promise. I'd bought myself not a house, but a private kingdom. Next morning, celebration still hanging in the air, I found a paper jammed under my door. Heavy, official, with that special stench of bureaucracy. Coffee forgotten. I read it twice. Notice of violation. Please deliver access keys for inspection and safety certification. Citing HOA codes I'd never agreed to. My jaw dropped. I'm thinking, you know what I mean? I bought out of this mess. My lawyer Graham had combed every page. Triple-checked, even. He called back with a chuckle. You're as independent as it gets. Their own rules say so. But I didn't feel better. Sharks don't quit at no fishing signs. Day 2, sunrise. A guy in a gray shirt shows up on my dock. Not a neighbor. Too stiff, carrying a lockpick set like it's just another Tuesday. I'm with HOA security, he says, voice flat, zero blinking. We've had reports. Let me back up a sec. I tell him, holding my phone up, red light blinking. Private property. Touch that boat. You'll be in cuffs before you hit the first step. He leaves, fast. That afternoon, I wire up the place. Military-grade cameras, sensors, the works. Post new signs. Not part of HOA. Trespassers will be arrested. I don't bluff. Evening falls, and now a black SUV slides up. Window drops, and there she is, Karen Fletcher, HOA president, sunglasses on, voice like ice water. Mr. Frell, you've moved into a protected community. I cut her off. No, my deed is independent. Her smile sharpens. Boundaries are evolving. It's best you cooperate. I just say, court order. Until then, leave. She doesn't flinch, but I can feel it. Something colder than the sea breeze says, this is just the opening move. 3 days later, it's Coast Guard at my dock, all official, clipboard in hand. Anonymous complaint about improper registration, unlawful mooring. I nearly laugh. Corvus is federally documented, doc-deeded, all by the book. Still, I show them everything. Digital folders, certificates, GPS maps. They nod. Looks airtight. Sorry to disturb you. I want to demand who made the complaint, but they're not telling. So I call Jackson, an old friend down at Port Tampa Bay. He digs and finds a new LLC, Citizens for Coastal Compliance, set up 2 weeks ago, registered by Karen Fletcher, out of the HOA clubhouse. I realize then, this is a campaign, not a misunderstanding. I call Megan, my lawyer, tell her everything. The bogus LLC, the attempted break-in, the bogus complaint. She listens, then says, let's go on the offensive. That night, I record a video, not in this HOA. Today, they tried to seize my property. Next, it'll be yours. Overnight, the clip blows up, 40,000 views, people all over the country chiming in. Suddenly, I'm not just some stubborn boat guy. I'm a stand-in for every homeowner fed up with paper tyrants. Karen doesn't back down. Shows up on my dock, flanked by 2 board members, waving a yellowed map like she's Moses. Original boundary, 1981. You're inside it. I blink. That's from the Reagan era. You're pushing old lines that don't exist. She keeps smiling. Legally, your land may fall under our authority. I cross my arms. You're lying. She shrugs. That's for the courts. And hands me a bill for $84,000 in back dues. I tell her, step 1 foot in my house. I'll bury you in lawsuits so deep they'll name a courtroom after me. She laughs like I'm a child. Megan studies the maps and documents, shakes her head. It's not about your dues. It's about precedent. If they win here, every shoreline is next. So we go loud. File a cease and desist. Notify the sheriff. Hire private surveyors. My yard swarms with survey crews, drones, Paralegals digging up planning records that destroy their map. The sheriff takes note. This HOA is playing with fire. I beef up security, wire more cameras, new locks, biometric entry on Corvus. For a while, it's dead quiet. That's always the worst part, right? The silence before a storm. Karen and the board go invisible. So I set a trap. Leave a mooring line loose. Fake a maintenance form with a QR code. Make it look like an easy target. Sure enough, 2 nights later, 3:13 a.m., 2 figures in dark HOA uniforms sneak down to the dock. One tries the hatch, the other scans my bait QR code. I hit the panic button. Cops are there in 5 minutes, catching them in the act. The whole thing's caught on military-grade cameras, audio crystal clear. Per Ms. Fletcher's instructions, this vessel has been preliminarily annexed. The officers whistle. It's all right there. Break-in, inventory list, everything signed off by Karen herself. By dawn, Megan's got the footage, and we're prepping a lawsuit. Conspiracy, attempted theft, criminal trespass. I send the video to an old journalist friend, and it's viral by lunchtime. HOA pirates try to steal yacht, get busted. Commoners go wild. Next episode, Karen shows up with a parrot and a tricorn hat. But I'm not laughing. Not when a certified envelope lands on my desk next, from a law firm I've never heard of, with a voluntary integration agreement, supposedly signed by me, agreeing to join the HOA. It's got my signature. Or at least, a shaky version of it. A notary stamp I've never seen. Blue ink. I always use black. I drive to Megan's office, slam the page on her desk. They forged it. She barely looks up. Son of a bitch. She lines up a forensic analyst, subpoenas the notary log, and within a day, it's confirmed. Signature's a trace job. Ink fresher than the paper. Notary works for Karen's husband. We file police reports for forgery, coercion, attempted fraud. This is felony territory now. The local HOA watchdog group picks up the story, screenshots, side-by-sides, a chain of lies stretching all the way back to Karen's board. Then, an anonymous email drops in my inbox. No subject, encrypted, full of board meeting notes, audio files, spreadsheets, and a draft called Annexation Timeline. Phase 1, Frel Property. Turns out, I'm just first on their hit list. At the bottom, a message, you're not crazy. They've done this before. A second whistleblower, Daniel, the former treasurer, slips me a thumb drive in a diner. Says Karen used $60,000 in discretionary funds for strategic enforcement operations, including paying off that notary. I ask why now, and he says, you're the first one to fight back. Back home, I go through his files. It's worse than I thought. 5-year expansion plans, targeting lots with low legal resistance. Karen's own memos pushing to rewrite county ordinances for provisional control of water infrastructure. Audio of Karen bragging. If we control the coast, we control the culture. These loopholes should never have existed. I hand it all to Megan, who goes pale. This is federal. We're filing under RICO. Lawsuits fly, restraining orders, criminal referrals, motions for declaratory relief. Then I go public, long-form interview with a legal YouTuber. The episode drops and blows up. Within a week, HOA board members start resigning. Homeowners stage protests. Not my pirate queen, banners go up. Other HOAs distance themselves. Karen? She hides, but you can feel the empire crumbling. You can only build so much on fake paper before the tide comes for you. The courthouse feels sticky, like anxieties in the air. I show up, suit and all, not for style but for war. Karen's got her lawyer, her pearls, but you can tell the wind's out of her sails. Our evidence stacks up, drone footage, internal docs, the tablet from the break-in, the forged signature, the whistleblower. Daniel testifies about secret meetings and soft annexation. We play audio of Karen directing her goons to seize my yacht. When it's her turn, she tries to charm, but Megan drops the ink analysis, the notary logs, the damning emails. Karen breaks. Under oath, she snaps. This wouldn't have happened if he'd just followed the community spirit. The judge leans in. You mean obeyed your forged rules and fake maps? He calls the bailiff, tells them to notify the DA. Karen's charged with everything from forgery to conspiracy. Corvus is still there on my dock, proud, untouchable. Karen? Denied bail as a flight risk, 5 felonies, 3 misdemeanors. HOA board dissolves, assets liquidated, The clubhouse turned into a maritime safety center by court order. Megan organizes a class action. Every homeowner Karen ever bullied joins in. Fake fees, backdoor fines, it all comes out. They claw every dirty dollar back, plus interest. I take a break. Caribbean breeze, rum and a coconut, sunsets that let your brain unspool for a while. But the story doesn't let me go. People write, call, share their own HOA nightmares, garden gnome fines, driveway evictions, pastel sweater tyrants with too much time. So I write it all down, publish everywhere. How they tried to steal my yacht and lost everything. It explodes. Now, there's a new sign on my dock. Salt-weathered, proud. Private dock. No HOA access. Trespassers prosecuted and your boat seized. Folks pause, read it, laugh, and keep walking. Smart move, if you ask me. So what do you think? Was I right to go nuclear, or did I just pour more gasoline on the HOA bonfire? Drop your take below. Let's hear what justice really means in your corner of the world.